back.
Every time I walk out that door, every time I interact with anybody new, my purpose is to help change.
It's time to celebrate life. If you know that you're in charge of your life, it's time to stand up. If you know you want better for your life, it's time to stand up. If you know that you have what it takes to be in charge of your life, it's time to stand up. If you know that you are not just trying to be good for you, but for those around you, it's time to stand up. As a matter of fact, look to the person to your left and tell them you are enough.
I want to help you change, and just like you change, every time I interact with somebody, they help me change. It's no different than if I met an individual and they had 4 quarters and they needed change, or if I had $1 and they had 4 quarters, I need to change. We can swap the money. The value is still the same. They still got $1, I still got $1, but we both exchange something, and it was a change for both of us. So every time I walk out that door, I inspire to help change lives just as much as lives have changed me.
Y'all been listening to the wrong people, watching the wrong things all your life, and it's time to put to rest all those negative thoughts, because you are enough. It's time to put to rest that self-doubt, because you are enough. It is time to get rid of that negative energy, because you are enough. It is time to stop listening to people that don't have the best interests of you in your life, because you are enough. So let's have a moment of silence. I want everybody to understand that you are the person that's in charge of your life. Everything that you have inside of you to be who you're supposed to be in life. You have a destiny, and that destiny can only be accomplished through you, by you, and only you, with the help of God. When you realize that you are the person you are, because you're not a carbon copy, there's only one you. They try to put you in a box. Society tries to put you in a box, but you can't be in a box. How can you be in a box when there's only one you? But then they tell you, think outside the box. What I'm trying to get you to understand is there is no box.
I want to pass on the things that I have to the generations behind me. By the time it's time for me to get called home and go to the grave, I want to be empty. I believe in bankrupting the cemetery, so I can't take this knowledge with me, because the cemetery is already full of brilliant ideas and unwritten books and innovative ideas. I can't take this with me, so I'm trying to leave it all here as Billy Graham Jr. to the next generation so somebody else can carry it on. What it do, what it do, what it do. And welcome, man. I've been waiting to talk to y'all all week. You won't even believe how much I've been waiting to talk to y'all, because the person that I have that's coming on tonight, oh my goodness, you know, on this show, we try to bring different people, not just living in their purpose, but different personalities to show you how you can live in your purpose, using your gifts. Just, man, I could go on. Because this individual, when I spoke with her briefly, and y'all know how I am with this transparency and trying to be 100% authentic. When I was just talking to her, I had to tell her, like, no, stop talking. You're saying too much stuff, it's driving too many questions, and I got to say these questions for the family, the Billy Graham Jr. family. So I had to hold off so that you can hear from her yourself, meet this amazing young lady. When I say she's amazing, she is amazing. She hails from Alabama. She currently resides in Florida. And when you see Florida, I know y'all are like, oh, she lives where we want a vacation. Not only is she living her dream life with her purpose, but she's doing it while she's on vacation. I'm not even going to go no deeper. I gotta let you introduce this person. Because, man, no, we're not going to do that, because, see, it's already triggering questions in my head. I have to bring to you Miss Hollery Morris.
Hey.
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I see that hair pulled back. I like that hair. I like it.
Thank you. I just put it up.
I'm thinking about growing mine out to make mine look a little bit like that myself.
No, I like that look. That's
stick
good.
with this. Yeah, I think my wife would say the same thing. I tried it once. She was like, "Nah, cut your hair." I was like, "You got it. I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it."
Right.
No, but man, I was telling everybody, like, I was talking to you earlier, and it was like you were generating so much stuff, but I was like, no, I can't do it. I have to let you do it yourself. So before we even get started, can you please tell the family, because everybody on this show is family. You part of the family now. Can you please tell the family, who is Miss Hollery Morris?
Well, Miss Hollery Morris, I am from Alabama. Um, I joined the Air Force when I was 22. I currently reside in Destin, Florida, which is amazing. Like, I love it. I've had to get used to it a little bit because my husband's not here, like he's deployed. So I'm having to get used to it a little bit, but I'm just taking that time to get to know myself and get to know myself a little bit better. So I'm a photographer. I do maternity and underwater portraiture. I love maternity. I specialize in maternity, and that's just that has my heart. So, yep, that is me.
So are you still in the military?
No, sir, I'm out. I'm out now. I'm out. I got hurt. Now I'm out. I've been out for 5 years now.
Well, either way, I want to thank you for your service, because anybody that knows undertaking anything such as the military is not an easy task. But as you see everybody chiming in, I want to say welcome to everybody, because Kayla, she's here. She's saying, hey. Valerie's here saying, hey. We're going to let Ernest roll with the Bama Roll Tide. Hopefully you're an Alabama fan.
I am. Roll Tide roll.
I'm gonna let you make it for tonight, because you know we already congratulated you for serving this country, and I appreciate you, because I was also Air Force as well. But you said your husband's deployed. I know what that feels like. My family really knows what that feels like. Where is he going? If you can say, where is he deployed?
Well, he's overseas. I'll just say he's overseas.
Oh, yeah. Okay. He's overseas.
Yeah.
Got that. Overseas. Do y'all have plans for when he comes back?
Well, I'm actually going to visit, so it's a safe place. So I'm going to visit in June, and then I'm going to visit again in November. So we'll only be like 4-month increments. And then after that, we go to Italy, Derby, Italy, near Livorno. So I'm excited.
Oh, hold on. I gotta back up because how long has he been in the military?
15 years.
His trajectory sounds like my family. So I went back in 2011. I went to Korea, Osan.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Kusan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's all right. He gonna visit Osan all the time. It ain't nothing to do in Kusan.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody doesn't know, we're talking about South Korea, everybody. Obviously not North Korea. And so right after we left there in 2012, me and my family went to Italy. We went to Aviano.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we went 6 years. Y'all are gonna love it. We're there for like 6 years. We can't wait to go back and visit. But no, I personally know one side. I know my wife knows the other side of that, being separated for that time period when you're at home. But you gotta look at it. You get to go every 4 months. Man. But no, I can keep going on all day about that. Again, thank you. And we want to thank your husband, because 15 years is not a slap in the face either. That's not like a little trip down in the park. But you say you stay in Destin, Florida.
Yes. So
what is that like?
How I got here is that I was going to choose to either stay in Minot, North Dakota, and I did not want to stay very cold. Or go home. And I couldn't decide. So I called one of my friends, and she was like, where would you want to go? If you can go anywhere, you have no kids, work on yourself. And I was like, Destin, because we've been stationed here before. So that's where I am. I'm here until he's done with his tour, and then we go over there. So I wasn't in, it took a minute for me to get used to everything, because, you know, like when you're married, you literally become one. Yes. So I'm so used to, after I get off of work, or he comes home at 5 and we just have our routine. So now I'm finding my routine. So I'm getting a little bit used to that. I'm trying to make it so that I go to the beach 4 times a week. I was out there today when you called. I literally was out there from like 11 to 5. I took a little break, and I'm trying to enjoy it. It's very peaceful. And I was telling my husband today, I felt like being at the beach, I'm not by myself. It's so many people out there. Like you're by yourself. There's so much going on. So I'm people watching, and all while I'm people watching, I'm like, I see like when I see people, like it's like I see people in photographs. So I'm like, oh, that's a good pose, or oh, this or all that. So my mind's always working. So when I'm not supposed to be working. So yeah.
You said something, and I don't let nothing slide in this show because people like you drop nuggets that help somebody not just live the life they want to live, but just life lessons in general. And you said when you become married, you become one. And that is true. And I want people, because me myself, I've been married 20 some years, over 20 years.
Congratulations.
And when you've been married that long, you are one, you become one. Sometimes you even think it's one. But the thing that a lot of people do, and I want people to understand, you cannot get lost in that oneness that you forget that who you are.
That is
you still have to know who you are, because God gave you a purpose just like he gave your spouse a purpose. Like your purpose is supposed to line and go together, but you still have a purpose. And the other thing that you said, you have to find peace, especially in today's society. We get so wrapped up that we can't find peace. And when I say that, they go hand in hand about finding peace and finding that you are not just one with your spouse, but you're also one with yourself. And a good way to say that, because you said it best when you said photography. Society has gotten us wrapped around photography, especially when you think about social media, Instagram pictures and all that. We all do so much stuff for the likes and the comments and the follows. And you don't even realize that, yes, the people see you on that picture, but they don't see the greatness within you. And you said you people watch, because our people watch too. And just like you see the photo, like that's a great shot, that's a great shot. I see the things that they're capable of as well. So we both see the greatness in other people. Now, when you see it in a photo version of it, how do you picture that when you see a person, like you said, all these people on the beach, like how do you see that photo version of that individual? Like what do you see that they might not be seeing?
Okay, so for example, I do portraiture. So that's mostly posing. Like if you think of back in the 1800s and they had these frames on the wall of like, here's auntie, here's my aunt, here is grandmother, great grandmother, things like that. I do a lot of portraiture. But lately I've been getting into lifestyle. So for example, I was out and I saw 4 Black boys. They all looked like they were brothers. They looked similar. I called one of my friends and I was like, oh my God, I wish I could photograph them, because as they were walking, I saw like just true beauty. Like they had their natural, they had huge fros and they were having a good time. And I wanted to capture that. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I can just capture this. The next day I went to the grocery store and I wasn't going to go, but I was supposed to be cooking more, not eating out. So I went to the grocery store and I saw them again. And I sat in my car and I was like, I told my friend, I said, I don't know if I'm gonna, this is creepy. I'm just gonna wait. I was like, I'm gonna wait. And then I go back in there and bought random lotion so I can talk to them, because I'm also a person that I don't meet a stranger. Except if we're on the plane, because I don't want to talk on the plane. But that's besides the point. But I don't meet strangers. And I went up to them and I was like, hey, I told them my idea. And they were like, 2 of them were like hesitant, but the other 2 were like, yeah. So the next day I called up, I texted them and I was like, hey, if you guys are in high school, I'm going to need permission slips. They're like, oh, we're 18. And then I was like, okay, so can you bring your license? And they're like, crickets. So I don't get mad, because I knew right then they were 17. I know between like ages of like 18, 26, like it's hard for a lot of kids or younger adults to be like, to express themselves and say, well, I'm not going to be able to do it, or no, I don't want to do it. So as I've grown with myself and in this business, I don't take rejection as like this bad thing. It's just like, I'm going to meet someone else. And then the next day I was out to eat, wasn't supposed to be out eating. Got me some to go. And I saw another guy, the same exact look, and he's a photographer and he's going to model for me. So I just have this outlook that, yeah, that's how God works. So I just have this outlook that if you're not going to do it, someone else is going to do it. And I just move on. I used to not be like that, but I'm like that now. This business has helped me in that way, that I don't just dawn on things anymore. I try not to.
Wow. Okay. I don't know if you figured this out yet. I like to dissect things, and you said so much right there. You said with the no's, like that no can also, you can have 1,000 no's.
Mhm.
You're just looking for that one yes.
Yes.
The best way I can explain it is, because you brought up the 1800s, so you made my mind go backwards. Thomas Edison, person with the light, he tried to make the light bulb 1,000 times.
Mhm.
It didn't work. That didn't mean that he had 1,000 failures. He just learned 1,000 ways that the light bulb wasn't going to work. He was only looking for that one. And I say that because, Hollery, you said it best with the different no's and talking to different people. You could let those no's be like Thomas Edison, and those 1,000 times the light bulb didn't work, but you kept going.
Mm-hmm.
And I challenge people out there to not stop, but to keep going, because you only need that one time. Matter of fact, you don't even have to do 1,000 times. Do 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet you chase something 100 different times, you're going to learn something about yourself that's not only going to unlock something with inside of you, but you're going to find the success that you're looking for, the same way Hollery did, because she keeps saying, and I hope y'all are catching it, in this business. You learn certain things in this business, and Hollery is in the photography business. I'm curious, like everybody else, what got you involved or even wanted to go after photography? Because you said you're in the, no, let's go back. What got you to even go to the military first?
Oh, I wasn't, to be honest, I went to college, didn't do right, partied, and my mom is loving but tough. She said, you have 6 months to get yourself together, or you're going to be out. And you know what I did? I read a Joel Osteen book. It's crazy. And I read that book in 2 days. And then I ended up seeing an old classmate, and he told me how he went to the Navy. I don't even think he's in anymore, but he told me how he went to the Navy and how he loved it. And you should just get out of Alabama and see the world. And then I ended up calling my uncle, which is retired E8 in the Army. And he was like, I'm never going to forget this. He was like, with your personality, you need to go Air Force. You're not going to make it in the Army, right? So he's like, they're going to treat you better. You need to go to the Air Force. So I ended up going to the Air Force. That it has to be one of the best decisions I made in my life, especially for that season in my life. That was the best decision. I met my husband. You know how military life is. You meet incredible friends. So now you have great friends literally all over the world.
Yes.
So and they become family.
Yes.
They become family. So with photography, when I ended up, I want to say what happened. I was getting out. I bought a camera when we were in Okinawa, Japan, and I just bought it just to buy it. I wasn't taking pictures of anyone. And when I knew that I was getting out, I started taking pictures, and it was I started photographing people, and I wasn't taking it seriously. I wasn't charging anyone. I was trying to get better. And then I just kind of got a knack for it, and I started to love it. And then I started to invest in myself, like money that I'm pretty sure I have probably invested, not even with just education alone. Like I think it's good to watch YouTube, but I am one of those people that, like, if I find out you're really good at it or you know something I don't know, I'm going to ask you. I'm not going to ask anybody else to ask you. You can tell me no or yes. Or if not, like when I first got started, I remember asking this guy, he was really good where we were, and he never got back with me. And I was so devastated about that because I was like, this is when I first started. And I was like, how am I going to learn? How am I going to learn? And I reached out to somebody that's from Alabama, and me and her are really good friends now. She's a photographer, and she was good friends with a very good photographer. And now we're in this friend group, and I'm learning. I'm very, very big in education when it comes to photography, and investing in myself. And I'm pretty sure I've invested thousands upon thousands of dollars to learn. But the only way that this works is God. I have to say that because I know on the days when I want to quit, like when I'm like, God, I don't think I'm cut out for this, I get a lead, and a lead is someone asking, hey, are you available? It happens every single time. Or if I'm like, oh God, like I do underwater photography, I wasn't going to do it. And I was like, I can't even swim. Why do you want to do this, girl? You can't even swim. I ended up watching a TED talk of an underwater photographer. And I was like, you're going to North Dakota. How are you going to do it up there? She ends up being from Montana. My mentor is her friend. It's stuff like that I'm like, God's like, you got this, you got this. And when I wanted to learn lighting, I was on Instagram. I'm getting better. But at that Instagram, and it was this man just talking on Instagram about lighting. I contacted him and I was like, oh my gosh, like your work is beautiful. Where are you at? Like, I would love to, I was actually in Korea visiting my husband. And I was like, I would love to learn from you. He said, yeah, I'm in Long Beach, California. I said, really? I have a really good friend, which I'm actually going to shoot her in Vegas in 2 weeks. That's in Long Beach, California. He was like, what's her name? So in my mind, I'm thinking, now you don't know her name. Like, it is millions of people in Long Beach, California. And I said, well, she's in the Air Force. I didn't want to tell her name because after a while he got creepy. Like, he FaceTimed me and was showing me lighting in his house, like with regular light bulbs. Like, he just oozes his passion of photography and lighting. So I'm talking to him and he goes, well, what's her name? And I was like, look now. I was like, I don't feel comfortable telling you her name. He's like, just, okay, what does she do? I said, well, she was in the Air Force. He was like, please tell me her name. Was she in the Navy? And I'm like, wait, have you been looking through my like, do you know? He was like, no, I haven't been. I said, okay, well, her name's Cynthia. He said, that is my sister's best friend. This is a man that came across my news feed. They are still best friends. His sister. This man taught me lighting. He was one of the people that taught me lighting.
Wow.
And it's always when I'm about to give up. Like, that is nobody but God to put me. I'm all the way, I'm not even in the country. And I see you just not rambling. But when you're passionate about something, you can tell when people talk about it. And I saw that he was really passionate. And it's every time I'm about to give up. I was about to give up last week. I was. I mean, it gets, I think as a business owner, I had to look at myself and say, hey, stop looking at other people's stuff. So I hope photographers don't think Hollery's not liking my stuff anymore. Hollery's not doing this. Now, there's some people like in other countries, I'll look at their stuff because they're kind of like ahead of us. So I'll get inspired by them. So I get inspired by them. But I just feel like with me, I feel like God has to ring me in because I think sometimes like when I get so involved in photography, it's like, let me see where I am on this camera. God's up here. And then all of a sudden photography is getting like this. And it's like, then my business starts to slow down. It happens. And I just know I don't deserve his grace and mercy. I don't, but I'm thankful for it. But it's just one of those things where I know I'm in the right thing. Like, all my friends are in school, becoming therapists. They're doing, like, everyone's doing it, And I used to be like, let me go to school because I'm going to get paid by the GI Bill to go to school. So pay me to go to school. That's extra money. That's like extra $800. So I was like, let me go to school. And then I told my husband, I was like, no, I'm going to dive deeply into photography. Go back to like the Greek period, to like how they're posing. How, like, I want to go back to, I don't know, just I want to do something different. Like, my mind's always going. When I wake up in the morning, thank you God I woke up, but I'm thinking photography. It's all day long. It's all day long, and I can't help it.
Well, for one, I'm with Kayla. When she said wows, I'm with you. Wows. I've never actually added an S to wows until I saw Kayla, and I was like, that's the word I was looking for. Wows. Because you just gave us so much of a deeper insight look at it. For one, I want everybody to catch this. Me and Hollery are not saying that you don't go to school. Education.
I'm not saying it's just
education is key. It is very key. What we want you to understand is there's certain schools or certain places you have to go for education. Some places, like, don't get me wrong, if you want to be a doctor, I need you to go to college and become a doctor, because I just can't have you talking about, well, I looked on YouTube how to take your heart transplant. No. I need you to go to school for that. But then there's some things that doesn't require school. The world will make you think, because society will have you think that you have to go to college. They started that years and years ago. The dynamics of the world have changed. And Hollery just explained that she saw some of her friends doing certain things, but they were doing fields that required them to go to school. But she had to go deeper and follow her dream. And the one thing I tell people all the time, If you show me your network, I will show you your net worth. She could have sat there and tried to YouTube, figured out herself, but she was reaching out to others that were in a space where she was not just trying to get, but already operating in ways that she wanted to operate in. And she said it without saying it, but I'm going to say it. There are certain things that America is not number one at. And I can name a bunch, but this show is not going to do that. But she said it. There were things overseas that she saw that like, oh no, they're better at that. So she reached out to those individuals. And then she dug a little deeper. She said it was time she wanted to quit. And I'm big on that. If you can't, people can't follow in your footsteps unless you take the first step. But part of that first step is having that trust in God, because God will guide you. He just needs you to get up every day and put your shoes on. You put your shoes on, he'll take care of the rest. But if you don't, God can't put your shoes on in time for you. You got to put them on, and then he'll do the rest. And you seen Hollery just said it. Things just kept happening. Every time she was like, nah, I want to quit. It just kept happening. She couldn't stop thinking about it. That's her dream. See, for a lot of people out there, they dream when they're sleeping. But people like Hollery, she can't sleep because her dreams keep her awake. So she stays chasing her dream. And oh my goodness. And you said one thing. You said when you figured out what it was that you were packed, you said it, I love it. You done other things. You're like, yeah, I went to school. It wasn't working out. You didn't love school. You were just following the trajectory. Your mama gave you 6 months. You're doing good.
Could have done.
You're doing good, because my daddy only gave me like 2 or 3 months. Yeah, it was right after Christmas. I went to college. I didn't do right in college neither. And then I got kicked out. That's a whole nother story, another podcast. And then he was like, you got this much time. January, I walked in the recruiter's office. I didn't know. I walked in. I didn't plan on choosing nothing because I was never going to the military. The Army, they were at lunch. The Marines, they were at lunch. The Navy, they were at lunch. The Coast Guard, nowhere to be found. They didn't even have a sign on that door. And at the end of the hallway, I will never forget her name, Tech Sergeant Hudson, a black woman. She was sitting there with the door open, and it's gonna make you laugh. She was jamming 90s R&B. So I was like, ha, I'm in the right place. And she was like, when you want to leave? I said, yesterday. Because in my mind, I'm like, my daddy said, I got to go. She had me in and out of there unless it was a Thursday. She had me going on the next Tuesday, going to MIPS. And I was like, wow, I guess this is my thing. So I understand when you say you got to dive deep into something. And you said you love photography. So it made you dive so deep. And you dove so deep, it led you to underwater photography. Now, I was like,
when
how does that work? Like, how does underwater photography work? Especially when somebody say that they don't swim.
Well, you do need training.
Which one, the photography or the swimming?
Well, both. But when I say education, I had to get, even though I didn't go to school, I paid for education with mentorships and, things like that. So I still had to be educated in what I'm doing. Because you can have a gift, but you still need to, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh man, I can't think of the word. To help your gift grow.
You need to nurture it.
Yes, that's the word. That's a good word. So I still had to nurture it. But like I said, I knew I was supposed to do it because when I found out my mentor knew the person that inspired me to go ahead and do it, like on YouTube, like she had a TED Talk. That's random. So I knew that was for me. So I went and took swimming lessons. And I had my first underwater mentorship 3 weeks after I took swimming lessons.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I was an adult out there with my little 6-year-old. I think my cousin was 4 at the time. And we took swimming lessons together. Now, he still can't swim, but that's enough. He was paying for everybody to look at him, but that's besides the point. But I took swimming lessons. And then when I went the second time, I realized that I had to get stronger because I wasn't good at treading water. And that's like if you want to do something where their whole body is submerged and it's vertical, then you want to be in the deeper end. But if you don't know how to swim, you can do it because I can photograph and document memories and capture people in 4 feet and 3 feet of water. So, and I've done, I do underwater maternity. It's like I told you, maternity. So with me, I love maternity because as a person that has struggled with fertility, I want my moms to feel like they have to do nothing. They show up, all they have to do is get their hair done and makeup done. I have the dresses, I have everything. You show up and I want you to feel the best and I want you to leave the best. I want when you to get your portraits. Like I love when women look in the back of my, and even the dads, when they look in the back of my cameras and they cry, I'm like, yes, I've done it. Like I've got the photo, you know? So I just I don't it's for me. Like cuz I know even when like we would get bad reports, we would get failed IVFs, even it would be like after a failed IVF, after a miscarriage, I have to go and I had a miscarriage and I went to and shot a birth. Not even 12 hours later.
Wow.
IVF didn't work. I went and what happened? I remember when it didn't work and they put in like 2 embryos and I was going to visit my friend in Pensacola and she has twins. It was just back to every time something happened, I had to go and photograph somebody that actually has what I, you know what I mean? What we're trying to get.
Yes.
But the space I'm in right now, I realized yesterday, you know, when you get in that prostate position to pray and you're on the ground, I mean, like that low ground, like I can't even look up because God is so big. Those are the prayers that I remember when I was listening to this lady. Her name's Tiffany Montgomery, and I was listening to her, and she said, "Give God what you feel like your idol is." Right? So I'm like, I ain't got no idol. What do I think about all the time besides photography? And it's a baby. So as I'm sitting there in prostate position, I physically, like mentally in my mind, trying to give God this baby that I've been wanting. I couldn't do it. And I was like, oh my God, like this really has a stronghold on me. Cause you know, like, can you imagine yourself visualizing like God is like just say you Abraham, you're like, God's like, give me Isaac. You're like, ugh, he ain't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it says. He didn't do that. But for me, it was like, I'm giving God, like in my mind, physically, I'm sorry. In my mind, I'm imagining myself, okay, God. Because you know, in our minds, we're like, all right, God, I'll let it go. And it's like, I didn't let it go. You know, it bothers you again. But I had to physically be like, here you go. And I did that. Because I was just like, you know what? I'm blessed. My husband is amazing. He looks at me. He's like, you're enough for me. And that lets me leave my drink. Oh, he's amazing. And that helps me concentrate on what I need to do and help these women. And I told one of my friends, I was like, and I told God, I want to help the women also that have had issues getting pregnant, or the doctors told them that they wouldn't be able to get pregnant, because we can also identify there. And all of a sudden I get a call and they're like, oh, I want to book you. And we go through her story and she had to have IVF.
Wow.
And it was like back to back women that have had it's just getting the little bumps, chill bumps, whatever. But I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. And you can't let people be like, because I had to stop saying, oh, I'm just a photographer. When you put just in front of something, you minimize it.
Yes.
Oh, I'm just this. No, I am a photographer. I am a portrait photographer. And I have to work on how I say things. I watch what I say now. Like, because I realize, like, ooh, Hollery, everything you're saying is just like, boop, 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 you know, like coming up. So I don't say I'm infertile. I say I used to be infertile. Or when you know what I mean? I had this. But it took years and tears and all these things to get there. So, and I'm blessed to have friends that have little kids, and I don't know, like they want to stay with me and stuff. I'm like, y'all, it's nothing to do here. It's nothing to do, probably because I let them do anything. But I'm thankful to have a great support system within my husband, my parents, my family, my friends. They're always putting my stuff out there. And I think that's the thing. When I first started, you want like, oh, why aren't my friends doing this? Or I used to ask that, like, I just put this photo up and no one shared it. Like, no one shared my photo. And then I had to think, as I grew more, Hollery, maybe they don't like it, or maybe that's not your style, or maybe they didn't see it. But even if they did share it, you said you want to be global. So I mean, it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, you said you want to be global. So if no one in your town likes it, it doesn't matter, because you already said where you want it to be. But now those things happen, but I try to get like the likes and all that stuff out of my head, even though it creeps back in there every now and then.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I'm not doing that today. I don't have time to look at this, to look at how many likes this person have, because some people, like, I have a little cousin to be like, boop, 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 boop. You may have little kids, they're just liking everything. Like, I don't know. So I just I try to just look at what stay in the lane of what God has for me. And it's kind of like, if you're driving down a road and as soon as you look to the left, you start going to the left.
Yep.
As soon as you look to the right, you start going to the right. So I just have to stay on track. And like when I say I'm blessed with some incredible friends, oh gosh, I probably have like 10 good friends. Like, and
that's a lot.
I have a lot of good friends. So I can call them. Thankfully, half of them are literally therapists. And I try not to give them my problems because it's like, but I have really good friends. I'm blessed with a network of just amazing people. And I always ask God, like, wherever I go, put me around people that will keep me closer to you. And so even when I meet these people and they're so nice, I'm like, God, are you trying to tell me like I'm a little mean? Like, they are, extremely nice, but it helps me learn how to deal with people and how to give people grace when I meet these people, because they're extremely nice. And whenever I meet someone, I feel like I'm able to see what God is telling me I need, and I'm thinking I can't do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, yeah, like, I think you just have to keep going. There's been shoots when my grandmother passed. I used to talk to my grandmother before every session. And when she passed, I probably cried for months and soaked up my tears 3 to 5 minutes before the session started, before I saw the client. But I know as I grow older, sometimes you need that good cry. Like I got a good cry in the other day when I wanted to, and that's all it was. Like I was just like, oh my God, this isn't working. This is working. I literally just needed a good cry. And after that, when I went to the gym, I went to the gym in like months. And after that, I was fine.
Exactly.
I was fine. So I think people think like, oh, when I'm crying, I'm being weak. No, sometimes you need to go in your closet, be by yourself, tell God what happened, and cry. You can tell him like, hey, I don't like this. I don't like where I am. I mean, that's what he's there for. It's not, I don't feel like there's a method or a rough draft or something that you need, a pamphlet on how you need to pray. So I just go, and there are times I get mad. I'm like, God, did you see this? And I feel like he's like, did you see you? Yeah, you know what, God, I got you. I saw that. I'm wrong. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah, I saw you too. So it's like, I don't know. I'm thankful. I know I'm not all photography. I know there's other things that he wants me to do that I need to be working on that I've been running from. But I'm grateful in where I am. I haven't always been here mentally. I have not always been in this space, and sometimes you can revert back, but you just have to keep moving forward. You have to keep moving forward regardless. And like I said, when you need to step aside, like I had a therapist, and she was like, Hollery, your issue is you want to cry, but you're trying to suck it in. You're trying to hold it up. Like she's like, so sometimes you may just need to go into the bathroom or go somewhere, let it out, and come back. And so once I learned that, I would take a beat. They say take a beat. I'd take a minute, cry, let it out, and I would come back. And that's helped me even with photography also. Like if it's moments where before shows, before my sessions, it's cloudy outside or it's sunny. And I know everyone likes to take photos in the sun, but when you take photos in the sun, and if I look up at the sky, I'm going to automatically squint, right?
Yep.
So I like downcasted day. I like when it's like cloudy or it's sunset or sunrise. So I'm like, Lord, can you get your clouds? And now since my friend, we were reading in the Bible and she was saying that it was saying that the clouds are like the dust of God's feet. So now when I fly, I'm like, oh my God, like clouds are all over the world. Like God just walking everywhere. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but so that just, now I'm, now it's kind of like, what a sweep was that, Lord? I need to get some of this. These clouds, like I need them right there. And it's small things for me. It doesn't take a lot for me to be happy. I don't think it does. And I'm thankful. Like I said, I can't keep saying how thankful I actually am, and thankful for you to even having me on here. Like I'm thankful.
Me having you, we are thankful that you are on here because you have been given. I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here like this. I'm like, I forgot I was over here supposed to be talking with you. I'm like, oh, this is an amazing story. Like I'm loving all. Like
Good.
you are blessing us with so much knowledge and so much information by being so transparent with your life. Like you have a gift.
Thank you.
And you have went through, and people, you hear people say it all the time, like find a problem. If you see a problem, give a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did you find a problem, you had a problem within your own, with you and your husband.
Mm-hmm.
The blessings are coming, by the way.
Know,
We already said that. We're putting it out there. They're gonna rain down on you. They coming. But you could have let that keep you down. But instead, you saw an issue and you found a way. I'm gonna tell other people that might be going through the same thing that they think is an issue, that it's not an issue. This is how we're gonna do it because the blessings are coming for them as well. And you took that and not just said, I'm just gonna do photography. You went on a step further and became with maternity. And you said something, you was like, it's other things that I need to be doing that I'm running from. Think of, and I want everybody to take this in, the same way you were doing photography. Let's back up. The same way you went to college and your mom gave you 6 months and you was running from stuff. You went to the military. God has a way of humbling us. You went to the military. You probably thought, oh, this is nice. I'm going to do 20 years in this thing. This ain't nothing. That wasn't the plan he had for you. And so he sent you down another path. God has a way of putting you back in the path that he wants you to be on. Now, for many of us, I was just as guilty as you've been throughout your life, just as many others. We do everything. You said it yourself. We run from the path that he wants us. God wants us to go right, we go left. God wants us to go left, we go right. And what happens, like you said, when you turn left, you start drifting left. You turn right, you start drifting right. Wherever your mind goes, wherever your focus goes, that's where your energy flows. Mm-hmm. God is trying to get you to go one way, but you focusing on something that's not a part of the plan that he wants you on. And he guided you, not just from photography, but also to maternity shooting. And he has another path for you, and you're running from it. And there's people out there right now that are running from it, like me. I didn't want to do this TV show. They threw it to me. I'm like, I don't feel like doing that. I'm like, I just did 20 years. I don't want to be timed in on something every day at 7 o'clock every Thursday. Then I had to sit back and like, why am I running for it? This not for me. This show is for somebody else. And there's people like you that are talking and helping others. And that's why we thank you. But I want you to think about this at the same time, Hollery. You have photography. If you would have ran from what you and your husband were going to, you wouldn't have been able to help those with maternity. And the same thing that you're running from now is people out there that need your gift, and they need it now more than ever. And that's for everybody out there. It's people out there that need your gift, and they need it now more than ever. And you're doing what me and Hollery done over the past, just run from it. And I'm trying to tell y'all now, as Hollery says, stop running. When I said put your shoes on and God will guide you, he didn't say turn into a track meet. He wanted you to take one step at a time so others can follow in your footsteps as you help others on your path to greatness so that they can attain the greatness that they're searching for as well. Oh my goodness, Hollery, you gave us so much of you. Ooh, let's bring it back. Sometimes I gotta reel myself in. Because now I want to know, and everybody else out there wants to know as well, because we all have different methods. And I have this thing that, like you said, like earlier when you were saying you want to know stuff, you get the knowledge, you start diving deeper and asking questions and all that. I like to give the family out there that's watching different ways. I've given my ways. Other people have given their ways. When you have those times when you just want to quit or stop running after that dream or chasing that dream, or you just say, I don't want to go in that direction, or you start leaning left or right, what are the things that you do to get you back on track to start following the purpose and using the gift that God gave you?
Let's see what I did last week. No, but before that, I have to take a break. I have to look at something else. I have to put my mind on something else and come back to photography, because sometimes you can get burnt out.
Yes.
I think also for me, like I know once I get like that, my husband's like, have you been praying? You praying about? You've been watching? You know, like so. He'll call me out on that. Um, for me, I just know when those things start to happen. Now that I'm talking to you now, like in this moment, and I think back to all those times that did happen, it literally just means something greater is about to happen. Like I know preachers say that all the time, and I'm like, oh, here we go, talking about something greater. Like, because all of them say like something greater is on the way, you know. But when I look back through my life and things like that have happened, like it's and even if it's not, if it doesn't look like it's greater and it's bad, like to our perception, it may be bad, it's still growth.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
That makes total sense.
So I just have to I pray, and then I always remember like so when my grandmother passed, so we were very close, like talk every day.
Yeah.
It was to the point that she would be like, I'm not talking to you this morning. Like we talked every single day. And I remember her always saying, when you come home, we're gonna get a portrait. You got to get a portrait of me, and I'm gonna pay you my money, and I'm gonna pay you just like people pay J.C. Penney. She would always say, she was like, because no more, you don't need to get any more discounts. I'm gonna pay you just like that. And then around April, May, we had a generational shoot we were supposed to do, and it was me, my grandmother, my mom. And she goes, y'all didn't invite me. And we were like, we did invite you. Like, she's like, well, I'm in church now. And she like hangs up. Like, you have to know my grandmother. Like, and I think about her every day, and I feel like how she believed in me, like how she saw my work. She would just be like, oh, Pooh, because she called me Pooh. She'd be like, oh, Pooh, this looks so good. Like, and I think that's one of the things that I always thank God for, is that we can remember people's voices. I think we take that for granted, because I can't remember my grandfather's voice. I can't remember his voice because I just can't. But I can remember my grandmother, my great grandmother, and I can just hear my grandmother. I would call her after every shoot and tell her how it's been, what happened. She'd be like, what they have on? What had it on? I mean, I miss those conversations, but I'm grateful for my memory that I have them. So I have a gift, and it's something that I'm naturally good at, but I also want to be better. I always want to be better. So, but yeah, I would say my grandmother and my family believing in me, that keeps me going.
I want everybody to catch what Hollery just said. Because I know some people out there like, man, Hollery takes photos, but what's my gift? What am I great at? And I want to help everybody. Huh?
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I know there's people out there that are looking at you like, man, she's great with photos. She helps with maternity. Like, what am I great at? And you actually told people right then, and I'm finna help break it down so they understand it. A gift, for one, a gift is something that comes so naturally to you. Like, I can do it. When you studying and learning, think about it. If somebody's in school trying to be a scientist, when they hear science terms, they just snap off like this. Like, you tell me some science, I'm still up there like, so that the chemical, what goes with, I would be lost, because that's not part of who I am. And so I want everybody to understand how gifts works, because they don't just mean one thing. And most of the time, the people in our life, like Hollery just said, her grandma and everything, they tell you what your gift is. Hollery's gift was that memory. She likes to remember that voice. She's a memories. Memories are big for her. If you have not been listening this whole show, I want you to go back. I just was waiting to see if I was picking up what she was saying. Everything that she's talked about this entire show was some type of memory, all the way down to the swimming where her and her nephew swimming and he didn't learn nothing. Everything she gave us tonight was a memory. Yeah. She told you all the memories she's had from different photo shoots, memories she's had from school. Most people don't even remember when their parents give them a 6-month ultimatum. If you don't believe me, everybody out there, think about the time your parents gave you an ultimatum and tell me the exact amount of time. She remembered 6 months. I couldn't tell you what my mama gave me ultimatums for, because I don't know. Because memories aren't my thing. They're your thing. But instead of just having vocal memories, Hollery found another way to use her gift for memories, and now she captures them. She gives people the memories that she likes to have for herself, and they don't even know they know it. Most people just take pictures and take pictures. It's not till years later that they look back. Because I know myself, I got pictures in my phone I took years ago, and I just was scrolling like, what I took that picture for? I'm not the same way. Memories ain't a big thing for me like that. I remember some stuff, but it's not. I want you to understand that's how your gift works. It comes natural to you. It's easy to you. But when other people see it, they're like, wow, how did they do that? If you look at Hollery's pictures, I already seen somebody chime in. It was like, she captures amazing pictures. They're looking at you like, wow, the pictures are amazing, Hollery. Me, I'm just going to get the phone. I got a son that can't stand still to save his life taking a picture. It's always blurry. But you know how to capture it because you have a different eye. You said it on the beach. I see people like this. You saw the kids with the afros, and then you saw different things. You see different memories, not just through a picture, not just through a voice. You see memories walking in life. And I want other people out there, because somebody out there has that same gift with memories like Hollery, but you also have a gift, and you need to just hone in on what that gift is. And if you don't know what it is, keep watching this show. I'll help you. Hey, hit me up one-on-one. I'll help you as well. That's what I like to do. Help you with your gift. The same way Hollery is here helping explain how her gifts work as she captures memories for you and your family for generations and generations to come. Now, I do this to everybody. I do this to everybody. And so I have to do it to you.
What?
Now, it's just you got that look like, hold on, we was just talking about memories. What you finna spring on me. It's nothing bad. It's nothing bad.
Okay.
So everybody out there has a purpose in life. They try to get something, try to get ahead, no matter what it is. We all hit bumps in the road. We all want to quit, as you may know. What is that advice that you would give anybody, to include the younger version of yourself? What's that advice that you would pass on to others to not just help them keep chasing their dreams, but to bring others along with them? Because they say it's lonely at the top, but it's not lonely if you bring people with you. So what are the things that you would like to say? Keep chasing your dreams and make sure you bring others and help them along the way.
Ooh. I would say, let me see, keep chasing your dream. Of course, I would give them the testimony of me, of wow. I would say that I would tell them to keep chasing their dream, because I want to say like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I dealt with like suicidal ideation. That's like thinking about leaving here all the time.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So got help for that. Not like checked in or anything, but just went to a therapist. And I only go back to that moment because it's like, oh man, Hollery, what if you would have did that? So a lot of people think like, when, oh man, it's time for me to give up, my life isn't going this way. Like not even saying you get so far to think of leaving here, but you just feel like you're worthless.
Yeah.
I would say just wait it out. You have to keep walking and moving. Like, because you keep walking and moving, you're going to go somewhere.
Yes.
And your somewhere may not look like everybody else somewhere. It shouldn't anyway. Like, if it's going to look like somebody else, then why God make you? Like,
exactly.
That's a waste. And he doesn't waste anything. So, I would say that. What was your other question? The last part?
No, you answered both of them.
Oh, okay, great.
Because this is why I say you answered both of them. You are, for one, everybody out there, you are enough. Because the second question, I'm going to tell you how you answered it, was like, how would you bring others along with you? God did not create none of us for no reason. We all have a specific purpose. He created us for a purpose. Our purpose is going to be different than everybody else. And when you're doing what you're supposed to do by operating in the purpose that he created you for, other people are going to come along with you. The best way I can say it, think about music. A musical artist expresses their stuff through music. And guess what happens? They gain fans. Hollery, you capture photos. Believe it or not, you have gained fans. Because why you said in the beginning, it wasn't just about your town. You've started gaining fans globally. When you're doing and living and operating the way God intended you to, people are going to follow you. Think about everybody in the world. Remember, I told you, when you take the first step, when God just needs you to put your shoes on and lace them up. When you take the first step, others will follow behind you in your footsteps. You can name anybody over the history of time. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Sojourner Truth. I can name a lot of people. And guess what happened? When their time was up and they lived their purpose, somebody along the line came and picked up the baton and kept on in that purpose. And remember, Hollery said it best, just keep moving forward. It's like a track meet.
Mhm.
You see them in a relay and they run, and they pass the baton to the next person. Are you operating in your purpose that when the time comes for God to call you back home and says a job well done, are you going to be ready to hand off that baton so that the next person can keep running in your footsteps? Are you going to be like Hollery, where they can look back and see those photos and somebody's going to say, hey, I like what she did. I want to pick up that same skill set and learn, because Hollery said it. She went back to the 1800s to figure this stuff out. Somebody in the future is going to be coming back the same way they're going to go back and look at Hollery's picture and it's going to help them go. Somebody's waiting on you to make your first step and live in your purpose so that they can look back years from now. But it only going to happen if you start doing something now. Remember, Hollery, I'm glad you didn't go through with the suicidal ideations, because we need you just like we need everybody else. And we thank God that you're still here. But I want everybody out there to ask the same question that Hollery told you to ask yourself without even knowing she told you. What are you going to start doing right now today so that 5-10 years from now, you can look back? Hell, 1 year from now, you can look back and be happy that you started living in the purpose that God created for you today. Are you going to be able to look down the line? But the only way you can do that, and Hollery said it best, you have to keep moving. God did not create us to sit stagnant. You ask God for all these blessings, but those blessings require your action. And the only way you can have action is if you get the moving, like Hollery said. Man, Hollery, you have been dropping these nuggets all night long. And for one, I got to find a way to come get a photo shoot.
Yeah.
For two, we got to find a way to bring you back on the show.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
And for 3, because I know all these people ain't chiming in for no reason. Mm-hmm. How can the world can find a way to get a hold of Hollery Morris? How can we get a hold of you?
Okay. So I have a website, is hollerymorris.com. I'm also on Instagram at Hollery Morris Photos. And as you can see on the screen, it's Hollery Morris Photography. And it won't be hard to find my name because it's only like one Hollery Morris. What's up? Let's be honest. So that is how you'll find me.
Man. Now don't go nowhere, because I still got something I want to talk to you about after the show. But on behalf of the whole family within this show, and you see everybody chiming in, yes, Kayla, you're right. We all love her. Ashley, we do love her. Like, she's amazing. Oh, we all do love you, and we appreciate you. Thank you for still being here with us. Thank you for everything that you're doing now and the things that you're going to do in the future. We wish nothing but blessings upon you. We definitely can't wait for the show where you come back and you and your husband are sitting side by side telling us about this new bundle of joy that's on the way. We can't wait on all of that. We can't wait. Don't go nowhere. Stay with me, because I want to talk to you after the show. But again, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your life and being so transparent with all of us. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate this.
Thank you. And stay with me, because I'll see you on the other side, Hollery.
All right.
Man, I don't know about y'all. Normally we have people on the show that give us everything, and we get a lot out of everybody because we family here. But Hollery blessed us tonight. I'm not gonna lie. This is might be one of the first episodes. We keep it transparent around here, that we've had somebody, because we've had a lot of people open up and dive deep and give us everything. Hollery blessed us. She didn't just dive deep into her business. She didn't just dive deep into her career and what she's been through in life. She dove deep and gave us her personal story for her and her husband. Truly amazing woman. And she is the epitome of showing that you can overcome anything. You can get through anything. You can chase your dreams. But you got to make sure one thing is central in all the things that we just talked about. God is key in your life. Now, I do love everybody, and I thank everybody for tuning in. I hope everybody has an amazing weekend, a wonderful week coming up next week. And I look forward to seeing you all again next Thursday, same time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Who knows who our next guest may be. But we will dive in and find who that person is coming next week. Until then, I love you all. And as usual, I want you to live in your purpose, with purpose, on purpose. And I'll see you all next week.
I'm back.
Every time I walk out that door, every time I interact with anybody new, my purpose is to help change.
It's time to celebrate life. If you know that you're in charge of your life, it's time to stand up. If you know you want better for your life, it's time to stand up. If you know that you have what it takes to be in charge of your life, it's time to stand up. If you know that you are not just trying to be good for you, but for those around you, it's time to stand up. As a matter of fact, look to the person to your left and tell them you are enough.
I want to help you change, and just like you change, every time I interact with somebody, they help me change. It's no different than if I met an individual and they had 4 quarters and they needed change, or if I had $1 and they had 4 quarters, I need to change. We can swap the money. The value is still the same. They still got $1, I still got $1, but we both exchange something, and it was a change for both of us. So every time I walk out that door, I inspire to help change lives just as much as lives have changed me.
Y'all been listening to the wrong people, watching the wrong things all your life, and it's time to put to rest all those negative thoughts, because you are enough. It's time to put to rest that self-doubt, because you are enough. It is time to get rid of that negative energy, because you are enough. It is time to stop listening to people that don't have the best interests of you in your life, because you are enough. So let's have a moment of silence. I want everybody to understand that you are the person that's in charge of your life. Everything that you have inside of you to be who you're supposed to be in life. You have a destiny, and that destiny can only be accomplished through you, by you, and only you, with the help of God. When you realize that you are the person you are, because you're not a carbon copy, there's only one you. They try to put you in the box. Society tries to put you in the box, but you can't be in the box. How can you be in the box when there's only one you? But then they tell you, think outside the box. What I'm trying to get you to understand is there is no box.
I want to pass on the things that I have to the generations behind me. By the time it's time for me to get called home and go to the grave, I want to be empty. I believe in bankrupting the cemetery, so I can't take this knowledge with me, because the cemetery is already full of brilliant ideas and unwritten books and innovative ideas. I can't take this with me, so I'm trying to leave it all here as Billy Graham Jr. to the next generation so somebody else can carry it on.